Hi everyone and welcome to ScIQ. So Bec and I were at work recently at the New York Hall of Science and someone came to visit us and talk about disability insurance. And Bec and I were kind of shocked at the idea that if we were too sick to work, we would end up on the street. I'd never even thought about that before. In Australia, if you get sick, not only is your healthcare paid for, but if you're too sick to work, the government pays you enough to live on. So income insurance or disability insurance isn't something that I'd had to think about ever before. Now, I'm not always a fan of big government, unlike some of my colleagues at the Young Turks, but I am a huge supporter of basic healthcare and income protection. The reason is primarily because I think it makes good economic sense for a country. And just in case that sounds like left-wing propaganda, let me break down the numbers. There's a well-understood correlation that as a country gets richer, so the healthcare of its citizens get better. But what might be less obvious is that the opposite is also true. Improving the health of a nation's citizens can directly result in economic growth because there'll be more people able to join the workforce. The World Bank reports that 50% of economic growth between nations can be attributed to poor health and low life expectancy. 50%, that's a huge economic boost just for having good healthcare. Basically, the better the healthcare, the richer the country, as there's simply more healthy people available to work and pay taxes. Now, America does have a pretty good healthcare system, don't get me wrong, and some of the most advanced medical technologies in the world are here in the US. But all too often, sick people are forced out of work and in the worst cases into bankruptcy simply because they needed healthcare. When sick people are forced to drop out of work because they can't afford treatment, you see this huge drag on a country's economic growth. Overall, the healthier the citizens of a country, the more effective the workforce and the richer that country becomes. So if you want to make America great again, one of the mathematically proven best ways is to invest in providing affordable healthcare to everyone. If you still don't believe me, let's have a look at one of the United States' greatest competitors, China. Around 2013, so 3 years ago, China looked at the evidence on the health productivity link and decided to increase spending on healthcare delivery, as well as steadily increasing investment in biomedical research by between 20 to 25% every year. China are making sure its workforce is healthy so that they can compete against the United States. And if the US wants to continue competing against China, it needs to start looking after its workforce, particularly low-income earners who are at the most risk. Now, a lot of people object to this and say that if healthcare is free, everyone will use it even when they don't need it, and if disability insurance is free, everyone will just pretend to be disabled. But universal coverage doesn't need to be free, it just needs to be affordable enough that people don't go into bankruptcy when catastrophe strikes. And if you still don't believe that universal health and disability coverage is going to benefit the economy and make us all richer, check out this 60-page report by the United Nations Commission on Macroeconomics and Health. This is strong evidence that despite the increasing cost of healthcare in the United States, making sure every citizen has basic healthcare and access to income actually boosts the US economy and makes us all richer. If you have any thoughts about universal healthcare and disability protection, let us know in the comments below. Hi everyone, I'm Jade Lovell, resident science nerd on the Young Turks network. You're watching ScIQ and we know you don't want to miss an episode, so please click the subscribe button down below.